Welcome back. This is Donna with Virtual Assistant on Fire. I'm so glad you're joining us again. So this is the second video in a series of 4 videos talking about chatbots. In this video, we're going to dig into our first SaaS product called Tidio. First thing we want to do is go ahead and sign up for a free account. And the way you do that is up here in the upper right hand corner. You're going to click on the Get Started button. So here's the sign up page. You have a couple of options. You can use an email address. You can go ahead and log in under Facebook, Shopify, or Wix. So with the email address option, you want to be sure the email that you use for the setup is the one that's associated to your website. If you want to just sign up under Facebook because maybe you don't have a website, then you can go ahead and choose this option. And if you have Shopify or Wix for your website, you can choose one of these, or you can set it up once you get inside the program. Completely up to you. The account we're going to set up, we're going to do using the email address. So we're going to click on email. So here you would plug in your email address. Again, be sure it's associated to your website. Select your password and then enter your website address. Now, one little tip. Inside the program, you do have the ability to change the website address. But if you do that, then it breaks all of the links because everything's going to be associated to whatever website address you put right here. So you want to be sure that you put it in the right way. You can always create another account down the road if you need to, but all of the settings and all the information that you've plugged into this particular account does not move over to a new account. So just keep those things in mind. Then you want to come down, read the terms and conditions, privacy policy. When you're good there, go ahead and check this box off. Once you click on the Create a Free Account, you're going to go through a 4-step process in setting up your live chat. So let's get started by clicking on Create a Free Account. So we're going to go ahead and configure our live chat panel. So in here, you're going to set the name that you want to show at the top of the live chat. Pick out the colors that you want this whole section here to be. You can pick one of these. You can click on the ellipsis here. You can select one of these colors, or you can come over here to this area, click here, and you can even plug in your hex numbers and your RGB if you know what those numbers are from like your website. When you're done there, if you want to upload your photo to appear up here in the live chat, this is where you would do that. And then here you select your chat language. So they have quite a few in here. Of course, I'm going to stay with the English. And when you're happy with this, of course, you can always come back and change it. Come down to the bottom and click on Continue. So this is where they ask for your website information. So we'll just go ahead and click Other. Continue. Do just greet warmly. I will leave that one. That sounds pretty good. As it says here, we can always change this later in the chatbot menu. So we'll go ahead and hit Continue. And then this is where you can get the code to install on your website. You would select whether you're going to do it yourself or you're going to send it to a developer. I'm just going to go past this for right now. All right, so we've done the basic setup. So this is the main dashboard of Tidio. Here they're listing out the next 6 steps to take to get you going. Next up, we're going to go over to the left-hand column and we're going to review all of the different areas of the software. At the top of the column, we have conversations. This is where all of the conversations that take place from your live chat or your chatbot all appear in this area. Next one down is the dashboard, which we've seen before. Next down is your chatbots. So this is the area where we're going to go in and build out chatbots. Next one down is visitors. So this one, you're able to see the visitors on your website. Next one down is contacts. So if you're going to use this for email marketing or lead generation, this is where your contacts will come in. Next one down is your email marketing. The next one down is analytics. So even on the free forever program, you will get some analytics in regards to operators, the name of the operator, the messages, number of chats. There's also some analytics on your chatbots. And then if you're using this for lead generation, this would be the area that would show up. Next one down is the settings, all the way down to the bottom. Now, if you remember when we were doing the live chat setup after we signed up for a new account, I had mentioned that we can change the settings later on once we get into the software, and this is where you're going to go to do that. Now, this is the area where we can change some of the other settings, like different messages. Here you can change whether this appears on the left side of your screen or the right side. This would be for both mobile and desktop. You can also decide whether or not you just want this to appear on desktop or mobile or both. So you have your other messages down here that you can change if you want. They also have a label button. So right now this is on, and the way you see that is when we have this closed. This is the label that they're talking about. So you can turn this on or off. Choice is yours. You can also control whether or not sounds are created when someone logs in or chats with you. And there's some others. You got a multi-language down here, so you can pick a couple different languages if you want. And always be sure after you make changes that you scroll down and you hit the save button. Also in this area on this side, you have the installation. So this is where you would come to grab the code to put onto your website. WordPress, Shopify, a couple other options. Next up is the chat page. So inside of here, you can actually test out your chat. You can type right into this box and check out different things about your chat. You can also come to open chat page. You can get a full page view of the live chat. Again, you have email, messenger. You can come in here and connect your account to your Facebook account. So even though we didn't do that in the original setup because we did email, you still have the option to connect to a Facebook account. And this is where you would do that. Also, you can put in operating hours. Here will depend on what type of business you actually have. If you have a business that has actual hours of operation, perhaps a brick and mortar, then you want to go ahead and toggle operating hours on and go ahead and set the hours. Now this will control the hours that your live chat is on. Now if you have a business where you don't have actual operating hours, then the way you turn on your live chat is by coming up to the upper right corner, clicking on your icon up here, and then you can select whether you want this to be online or offline. And you can also access operating hours from here as well. So you have a couple of different options as far as how you turn on and off your live chat. They have another area here called quick responses. So you can create some really quick responses to your very repetitive questions. For instance, if you're a business that has regular hours, oftentimes you get asked, what are your hours? So you could put in a line in here saying our hours of operation are, yada, yada. So you can access these quick responses inside the conversation panel when you're talking with one of your customers. Here's where you would set up your operators. So the Free Forever program allows you 3. So this is where you would go in and set those up. Now you have desktop and mobile. These are the apps that you can install on your Android or your iPhone or on your Windows desktop. Unfortunately, they do not have a Mac desktop app. But what these apps do is instead of having to open up the browser and then log into Tidio, you actually just need to open up the app on your Windows desktop or your phone. And this way you can access the chat conversation panel and be able to communicate back and forth to your customers. This way, no matter where you are, you're always available when you want to be available to communicate with your current or potential customer. All right, so that pretty much covers all of the settings. Obviously, I didn't go over everything, so you'll want to come in here and kind of do a deeper dive. Next, we're going to walk through setting up Facebook and also getting Tidio onto our website. So first, we'll look at how to connect to Facebook. So we're coming down to settings. We're going to come to Facebook Messenger. And we're going to click on Connect Facebook Messenger. Now Tidio recognizes I've already logged in before, so I just need to plug in my password for my Facebook account and log in. So I'm going to continue as me. So I do show a couple of pages, and Tidio is capable of connecting to more than one Facebook page. But for this demo, we'll use the same site we've been using for the demo. We'll click this and click Next. Tidio recommends all of these, so we'll go ahead and click Done. And now we're linked to Facebook. We'll click OK. Now we'll go ahead and add bot on Facebook Messenger. And now we are connected to Facebook Messenger with our live chat or chatbots. So next we're going to come back down to the settings area. And we're going to come to installation. So this is where we're going to go to connect to our website. So it says I'm properly installed, which I am, but we'll walk through this. You will probably come up to a screen that shows this. So here you select what type of website you have. We're going to walk through WordPress because that's what I have, but you can click on any of these and it'll give you the directions on how to do it. So we'll click on WordPress, and here they give you a code that you copy, and it tells you where to go within the website to plug this in. I'm going to go ahead and click on the copy to copy that to the clipboard. And I'm going to show you two different ways on how you can get this onto your website. Here we are on the back end of the WordPress website of the demo site that we're using. So the first way you can do this is you can use a plugin. So if you go to the plugins, we're going to add a new plugin. If you type in insert headers, we actually want the plugin called insert headers and footers. Now I already have it installed, but you would have an install now button right here. So go ahead and click install now. And then once it's installed, the active button will show and you can click on active. Now the way you get to this plugin is you come over to the left-hand panel, come to settings, and then you're going to go down to insert headers and footers. So Tidio tells us that we need to put this in the footer.php file, and it needs to go before the /body tag at the bottom. So if we come over to insert headers and footers, we actually want to come to this area here. These scripts will be printed above the closing of the /body tag. And so here is the Tidio script that was copied from Tidio's website. And then you would click save, and that's how you do it that way. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is you can use a plugin. So Tidio does have their own plugin. If you come over here to search plugins, this is Tidio's live chat chatbot plugin. Again, you can click install and you can click active. So this plugin will allow Tidio to run on your website. Now, the reason why I'm not using a plugin is because oftentimes plugins will slow down your website. Now I see that they have this other plugin called KP, Fastest Tidio Chat. I don't know if this is endorsed by Tidio, so can't say much about this one. What I do know is that if you use the insert headers and footers and you plug the code in this way, that should not necessarily affect the speed of your site. Can't guarantee that because it is an added script to the back end of your site. But what it will do is that if you decide to change your theme or there's an update to your theme, which happens quite often, it won't break the link to your chatbot onto your website. Oftentimes when you put it inside the code of the actual theme, it'll break with the update, the code goes away, and then you have to put it back in. So putting it in this way pretty much assures that you won't have that problem. All right, that's how you get it onto the website. Now, if you're using one of these others, just follow the instructions, and if you have any problem, do a chat with them. Their customer service is very good, and I'm sure they'll walk you right through whatever website you're using it for. We're back in the dashboard, and next up we're going to talk chatbots. So let's build some chatbots. Within Tidio, you have the ability to build out one massive chatbot if you want, or you can build out multiple smaller chatbots that all integrate with each other. And that's what we're going to do in this demo. We're going to build out a number of different chatbots and they'll all integrate with each other. A little bit easier to keep track of where you're at. So let's just go back and remind ourselves about the flowchart in the last video. So we had our welcome, our main menu, which included services, contact us, location hours. And then under that, we had listed out several items. So we're going to use this flowchart to build the chatbot within Tidio, and then also in video 3 within BotStar. So let's go back to the Tidio panel. So with all new accounts, they give you one chatbot to start out with. It's the new visitor welcome. So as you're building out chatbots, you'll notice that across this line, there's a number of different icons, numbers. So what does it all mean? Well, this shows you that the operator is offline. This tells you that the chatbot is active. The pencil is where you can go in and edit the chatbot. The eyeball is where you can test out the chatbot. The ellipsis gives you some other options. You can turn the chatbot on and off here. You can turn it on or off as far as whether you're online or offline. You can also clone this, which is making a copy. So if you like how one of your chatbots is, but you want to utilize it for something else, you can go ahead and clone it and make your tweaks accordingly. And then you can also delete chatbots from in here. As we keep moving to the right, you'll see there's this executed. So this tells you the number of times when a bot was executed in the last 7 days. The engagement, now this will show you the percentage of visitors that have interacted with the bot in the last 7 days. Helpfulness, now this is a new feature. So this allows you to put this onto your chatbots and your customers can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And then the handoff, this will show you the percentage of times the bot was routed to a live operator in the last 7 days. So you have a lot of very useful information right here. And then if you click on the actual name of the chatbot, you get some more statistics. So you can do different types of analysis. You can edit different things. So it's very helpful. And again, keep in mind, this is the free program. All right, well, let's get started. We're going to go ahead and open up New Visitor Welcome. And we do that by clicking on the pencil. That takes us to the inside of the chatbot. So I refer to this area as the chatbot builder. And then these are the different aspects of the chatbot. Now you find in a lot of the different SaaS products that they use different terminology. In Tidio, they use triggers, conditions, and actions. They color code it, which makes it nice if you have a really involved chatbot. For the purpose of this demo, we're going to focus on the triggers and the actions. Conditions is a little bit higher skill level than a basic demo. All right, so inside this New Visitor Welcome, you can come up here and you can click the pencil and you can change the name of this chatbot if you'd like. This one has 2 pieces to it. So there's the trigger and then there's a message. Now each chatbot has to have a trigger of some sort. So when you come over to the triggers area and you click on this, it opens up all of the different types of triggers that you can have, as well as actions. These are all the different types of actions that you can have. So you have a lot of different choices that you can make. And we'll be checking out a few more of the triggers and actions as we build out this chatbot. So this particular trigger, as it's called, first visit on site. Now this trigger doesn't do anything else but trigger the chatbot when a new user engages with the chatbot. The next piece of the chatbot is the message. This is send a chat message. So what we can do is we can click on the pencil icon here to open up the message. So they have a very basic message here, which is all good. You can also add another text message underneath that one. You can also add an image. So if you want to add an image of a logo, perhaps you are selling product, you want to add an image of your product, you can do that here. One thing to keep in mind, I think, when you're doing chatbots is a lot of people are using mobile devices. So you want to make sure that you don't have this really long text message. It's often easier to break it up into multiple text messages so it's easier to read on the smaller screens. Now this is where we have the helpfulness. So this you can turn on. We'll turn it on so we can see what it looks like. And we'll go ahead and leave this message the way that it is for now. So now within the chatbot builder, we always have the ability to test out our chatbot as we're building it out. So we'll go ahead and click up here in the upper right to test it out. Now, the one thing about Tidio is you have the individual chatbots. So when you test it out, you're only testing out the chatbot that you are sitting in. So in other words, we're sitting in the New Visitor Welcome chatbot. It's only testing that one out, just so that we can get a visual on what it looks like to the user. So we have our message here. So this is the icon, and then you have a red circle with the number 1. So the red circle tells you how many messages are actually hiding behind this icon. So in other words, if you had 2 or 3 or 4, that number would reflect that. So if we click on the icon, now we can see the message. And then the helpfulness, this is what it places on the chatbot. So the customer can rate how well your chatbot does by the thumbs up and thumbs down. So I think that's pretty handy. We want to know whether or not we're creating chatbots that are useful to our user, right? All right, so we'll close this out. So that's good for a first visit on site. We'll go ahead and leave that the way it is. So we're going to go ahead and click Save, even though we didn't change anything. All right, let's go ahead and add another chatbot. We're going to come down to Enhanced Communication, and they have a template for visitor returns. So in other words, we don't want a new visitor and a returning visitor to get the same message, right? We want to make it a little bit more personalized than that. So we're going to go ahead. First we'll test this out. So here they're giving a 10% off on purchase. Okay. We're building one for services. Obviously, you can still do that. But we're going to go ahead and customize an ad. We'll go ahead and leave visitor returns as the name of this chatbot. We're going to go ahead and save the chatbot. Now we're inside the chat builder, and we know that we're inside the visitor returns because the name of the chatbot is up here in the upper left. So the first thing is the trigger. Remember, all chatbots start with a trigger. This one allows us to do something, so we're going to click the pencil icon. So there's a trigger limitation here, and you have a couple of options. So when a visitor returns to your site more than once in 24 hours, you can restrict this trigger to appearing only once in 24 hours. Or you can use one of the other options, which is send only once for a unique visitor and send unlimited times. Close that. So the next step in this chatbot is sending a message. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the pencil icon. And this is where they have the 10% off message. But what we're going to do instead, to make this a little bit more unique, we're going to close this. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to ask a question. So we're going to drag this over. And we'll go ahead and connect these two. In Tidio, all of the nodes, all of the different pieces of the chatbot have to be connected in one way or another, or the chatbot will not work. So this one's ask a question. So we're going to click on the pencil icon, and we're going to say, welcome back. May I have your first name, please? Now, validation, we could say that we want to validate whether or not it's an actual name or email. Now, name, I wouldn't say a validation is needed, right? But maybe an email or a phone number to be sure that it's in the right format. So we'll leave that as none. Then we're going to click on this Save the Answer as a Contact Property. So we're going to turn this on, and we're going to select Name. Now, by default, it goes ahead and turns this validation on. Since it does that, we'll go ahead and put in a couple of repeats. So what this means is if the customer doesn't put their name in, and the chatbot recognizes that and comes back with this error message, oops, it doesn't look like a name, it'll allow them 3 attempts to put a name in. Now down here, we're going to select the name because that's what we're looking for. Remember earlier when we went through the side panel, so let me show you. We're going to go ahead and save this. Visitor returns, we'll just click Other Task and save. Activate the chatbot. So if you scroll down here, this is the contact properties area. We're not going to go into that in this demo because it's a little bit more involved, but you can put snippets of code onto your website that'll actually capture the name of the user, such as like in Facebook. You won't have to ask for the name. All right, back to the chatbot. So let's go ahead and go back into the edit. Let's go ahead and test this one out. We'll click the Test It Out button. Now remember, it's only showing us a preview of this particular chatbot. So we said, welcome back. May I have your first name, please? So we're going to go ahead and open this. I'll type in my name. Well, it's not going to do anything, right? Because we didn't finish that process. So let's close this out. We're going to come back over to the right panel. We're going to click Actions. And now we're going to bring over the Send a Chat Message. We're going to connect these two. And then we'll click this pencil icon. And we'll type in, and then you're going to use the curly bracket, which is the one above the bracket, typically next to the P key on your keyboard. Type in the contact property name, another bracket. Okay, so glad to see you again with the person's name. How can I help you today? All right, let's go ahead and save that. Now here we can test it out right from here. And I could just put my name in there. It's going to pop the whole box up. And now it comes back with our message, including the customer's name. That gives you a very easy way to personalize your returning visitors. Let's come down here. We're going to create another chatbot. And this one we're going to create an AI responder. And as you see here in the description, this does work off of NLP. We'll click OK. All right, so here the trigger. So with this particular chatbot, we can create our own list of keywords. So we're going to keep the language at English. I will leave it at custom. We'll see how this plays out. So here you're going to add in all of the different words, phrases, keywords, if you will, that a customer would type in to trigger the chatbot. Most people are used to typing something into the message box on a chatbot. So we have hi, hello, hey, hey there, is someone there, howdy. So we'll start with those, but you can keep adding to this list based on the type of customers that you have and the language that they would most likely use. So we'll go ahead and come down to the other node, which is the message. It says, hello, how can I help you? So we'll go ahead and leave that in there. And you'll notice that there's two different text boxes. So we'll go ahead and save this one. We'll just call it hello, other task, and save. And we'll activate the chatbot. Now I'm not sure if you noticed when we created the other two, but over here on the right hand side you see we're collecting data, come back later. So it's actually creating that chatbot. One thing to note here is that it needs to finish collecting all its data for the chatbot to actually be live and actually work on your website or Messenger. So you can continue to build chatbots and you can test them within here, but they won't actually work until it is done processing and setting up the chatbot. So we can go ahead and test this one out. So with each word that we put in, we should get the hello, how can I help you? Okay, so it's working. So that's good. We'll go ahead and close this out. And we'll go ahead and click save up in the upper right corner. So we'll come back to the chatbot. Now you'll notice I have an extra chatbot right here. And that's because I was just kind of playing around. So you can see it's not active. So for our next chatbot for the main menu, we're going to come up to the top right and we're going to do it from scratch. So we'll click on add from scratch. And we're going to use the trigger visitor clicks on chat icon. Immediately it's going to ask us for what actions we're going to attach to that trigger. Because as we talked about earlier, you have to have a trigger. That's the first criteria. But then with each trigger, you have to have conditions and actions. Before we start building out this chatbot for the main menu, let's just go back and take a quick look at our flow chart. So we created a couple different welcomes, new visitor and then a returning visitor. So now we're on to our main menu. So the first level within this chatbot is our services, contact us, location, hours. So we outline the different services, the different ways of contacting us, and the hours, and then a map for our location, if that applies. So let's go back over to our chatbot. So first we have to put in a decision button. We'll go ahead and connect the trigger to the decision button node. We'll come to the pencil icon. So here we're going to say main menu. Our first button is going to be services. Second button is going to be contact us. And the third button is going to be hours and location. All right, so that's the first thing that we need to have. And then you'll see the transfer to operator message. By toggling this on, if the user types something in that the chatbot doesn't understand, it will trigger a message. And the generic one is, I'm sorry, I can't answer your question, blah, blah, blah. So we'll go ahead and leave that one there. But we'll go ahead and also leave that on. Okay, we'll go ahead and close this. So now we have to build out the three buttons. So the one button was services. We're going to use a decision card for that. Contact us, we're going to use, let's see, we'll use a decision button. And for location hours, we'll also use a decision button. Okay, so we're going to link our node up here. First, we're going to link to the services. And you'll see we select which one we want to connect to. We're going to connect the second one, and this will be our contact us. And then the last one, it'll default to the hours and location. So let's come over and edit the services. And this one is the card messages. So this is kind of like a carousel, and we can create a number of different cards in here. So the first one we're going to call Service 1. And we're just going to type that in. You have the ability also here to type in a website address if you want to direct them to maybe a landing page for this particular service. So you have that option. Now for buttons, we can do more info. We could also put in something like, we can put in the pricing. We can also put in purchase now. So we're not going to build this whole thing out, but we'll get the very basics in there. So that might be some of the items you might want to put in as the buttons. So now we're going to go on to the next one. This one is service 2. More info. Pricing. Purchase now. And we'll go on to service 3. Do our 3 buttons. Okay. You can also add photos. So you just click up in this area here. This will take you out to your desktop. I just happen to have it up on a different screen. And you can just plug in your different photos. Okay, so we have our service 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and close that. So the next one over is our contact us. So we'll put in contact us. We would do a live chat. Now you'll notice this number over here. This is a little circle, number 11. You only have 20 characters that you can use on each button name. So we've got that button. Second button, we're going to put in email me, meaning the user wants us to email them. Okay, so we have our buttons, but now we have to attach something to these buttons because they won't do anything otherwise. Let's close this box. We'll come back over to actions. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask a question. We'll connect this to the email me. Then we're going to ask, let's put in their name. So validation, we're going to select email. We'll give 3 repeats on the email. We'll go ahead and add this to the contact property for email. And then we want to give them a response when they do submit their email. So we're going to go ahead and connect this to here. And then we'll say, thank you, with their name. You'll receive an email shortly. All right, so then we're going to come back. We have the live chat. So we're going to send a response back, and then we're going to use this notify operator. So we'll connect the live chat node to this node, the decision button. We're going to come over here. We're going to say an operator will be with you shortly. Put in their name. Feel free to type your question in the box below while you are waiting. Okay, and then we're going to connect that node to the notify operator. Here we're going to type the message to the operator. That way the operator will see this message and know that they need to hop onto a live chat. All right, I think we've got that part done. Let's finish our last node, which is the hours and location. So we'll go ahead and open this one up. And we're just going to put in a fake address. We can also put our hours right here. Short and simple. So now the button here, we're going to put in a map. Now we have the ability to add a URL, a website address. The way this works is we're going to go out to Google. We'll go to a map. This happens to be Texas A&M. We're going to go ahead and click this share button here, and this will give us a link that we can copy. It copies to the clipboard. We come over here and we paste it here. So that way when the user clicks on the map, it'll take them out to this map on Google, which of course will be the address of your business if you have a physical address. If you don't, of course, putting a map here doesn't work, so you wouldn't do that. And then here you have the transfer to operator message. So again, this is where if a user types something into the chatbot that the chatbot doesn't understand, they'll get this message. Sorry, you can't answer the question. Someone will be right with them. So we'll go ahead and leave that on. We always want to make sure that our user gets an answer no matter what, even if it doesn't know what to say, right? Okay, so this one is good. We'll go ahead and click Save. So we have all of the main pieces to our chatbot based on the flowchart that we had done in the previous video. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one that I was playing around with. Take that out. So we've done some by templates. We did one from scratch. We're going to come down here. The templates are really useful because a lot of them are built in a way you just got to tweak certain parts of it for your own type of business. So I want to come down here to the generate leads. We're going to do one more chatbot. We're going to do the schedule a meeting. So we'll go ahead and customize an ad. So you'll see right away we have a yellow triangle. And this is telling us that we already used first visit on site trigger, which is fine. I don't want this to be on the first visit on site. In the event that you do, that's fine. You would just go out to the first visitor on site and delete that chatbot. But instead, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to delete this node by clicking on the X. We're just going to leave the visitor says. So we have our trigger here, and this is a keyword recognition trigger. So we can put in different types of keywords in here. So the language is English. In the template, they already have set up a number of different phrases and keywords, which all look good, so I think we'll just leave those the way they are. Then we're going to come down to the next node. This one's an action delay. What the action delay means is you can delay messages from appearing. So the visitor says the trigger will come up, and then it'll delay. Here it's 1 second, and then the next node will come up with the calendar. You can do this in seconds, minutes, hours, days. So we'll leave it at the 1 second. Now we'll come to this node. Now this is another decision card. We used this when we created the services. So we're just going to have the one card, and this is for booking appointments. So we have an image of a calendar, which of course you can change. You have the message, and then down here there's the button. And the button, when clicked on, will go out to Calendly. So here, as the example, they're just going out to the main page of Calendly. If you have an online calendar, you would go ahead and put the URL in here that would take your customers directly to your calendar to book an appointment. So we'll go ahead and keep all that there. We're going to go ahead and save. So let's go ahead and test out the schedule a meeting. All right, we click on book a meeting. Takes us right to Calendly. So that's working, so that's great. So as it stands now, when visitors return or we welcome a visitor, so let's go back in here. We just get the message and we're not getting our main menu with our different buttons for them to select from. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and edit new visitor welcome. Just to do this a little bit quicker, we're going to copy the message. We'll close that out, and we're going to go ahead and deactivate this. And we'll come into our main menu, and we're going to grab the trigger first visit on site. And we're actually going to delete this one. Now we need to put our message in there. So we're going to grab the send a chat message. We're going to put that here. Let's move these around a little bit here so they're not so tight. We're going to connect this one to this one. Then we're going to connect the message down to the main menu start. Then we'll come into the message here and we'll paste in our message. Now let's come up and test this out. So we have our hi there message, and then we have our menu. Okay, I like that better. So let's go back. We'll go make sure we save this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this main menu. Come down here to clone. We'll come into this. We're going to call this returning visitor. So this node we're going to take out. Number one, we've already used it, right? So we're going to take that out. We'll come over to triggers, and we want the visitor returns to site. We'll go ahead and connect these. Now we've already used that. So we're going to go ahead and save this. And we're going to say, yeah, we want to go ahead. And we'll go ahead and do other tasks. That's what we want to call the chatbot. We'll hit save. Right now we're just going to do the draft because we need to come back to the visitor returns. And we need to edit that one. So remember in this one, we were asking the customer for their name and then replying with a message with their name in it, right? So we're going to copy that, click cancel. We're going to go ahead and deactivate this visitor returns. So that will get rid of our triangle up here. Okay, so we're good to use this one. We're going to go ahead and break that link. We're going to come over here. We're going to ask a question, and then we're going to send a chat message. I'll kind of squirrel these around. So we're going to link this one to this one to this one, and then this one to the main menu. So this we're going to send once per 24 hours is fine. This one we're going to ask, we're going to say welcome back. May I have your name, please? So we come down here to save the contact property. We're going to do name. Okay, so we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and test it out. Welcome back. May I have your name? So we have an extra curly bracket in there, but then we get the hi there, I'm here to help if you need any assistance. Let's go back and remove that extra curly bracket. So let's go ahead and click save. So we disabled the visitor returns, new visitor welcome. You can disable them, you can delete them. Sometimes I disable them, make sure I like what I'm seeing, and then I delete them if I don't think I need them anymore. So we've got all of our hello comments. So the main menu here, let's go ahead and rename this one. So first to visit main menu. We'll save that. So that distinguishes the two, the returning visitor and then the first visit. So now what we need to do is wait for this to finish gathering the data so that this chatbot will work on the website. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, wait for this chatbot to finish collecting data so that it's live. And once this is all up and running, everything is active and live, we're going to go ahead and look at the chatbot on the website, on the mobile device, as well as within Facebook Messenger. All right, I'm back. And so everything is up and running. All the data has been collected. So now we can go ahead and check it out on the website, mobile device, and in Facebook Messenger. So I'm going to go ahead and split the screen. So we have Tidio on the right, and we have the website here on the left. So in Tidio, we're going to come up to the conversation panel. We want to be sure that this is not saying assigned to you, but that it's saying all conversations. That way we see everything that comes in. So I'll come back over to the website, go ahead and click on this, go ahead and enter my name. So we get the glad to see you, Donna, and we get the main menu. Great, so let's check out services. Here we have our 3 services. Come back up to contact us. Let's do schedule appointment. It takes us out to Calendly. Okay, great, that's what we wanted. Now you see over here in the Tidio panel, we've got the first message when we first opened it up, and it says, glad to see you again, Donna. And then when we opened up for the calendar, it opened up another conversation so that we can see what the user's doing. So now if we come back over to the website, we'll go to live chat. So you heard that ding, so that's notifying me, the operator, that someone is engaging with a chatbot or is requesting a live chat. So that one is up here. So an operator will be with you shortly, Donna. So that's the message that the user's getting back. So now what I need to do is come up to join the conversation and come down to the message box. Right, and then we see that over here. So you see how the two interact. Everything seems to be working well. So that's great. So now we're going to switch over to Facebook Messenger. All right, so now we have Messenger on the left. We still have the Tidio conversation panel here on the right. So we'll come down to, we'll click on this. What does this do? So now I'm getting a clap because that's the sound that I turned on in Tidio to let me know it's coming from Messenger. So here's the Messenger conversation. So now I can say, hey there. And I see the message over here, and again, I'm getting notifications. So now when we're inside here, whether it's Messenger or the website, we have that area that we called quick responses, and this is where you would access that. So you would click on that, and you would have several in here, right, that applied to your business. So we'll click on this. I can send you an email with more details. Go ahead and hit reply, hit enter. And now the user can give me an email if they want more information sent by email. So that's how Tidio interacts with Messenger. So next up, we're going to look at it on a mobile device. All right, so the mobile device is on the left, and I'm on an Android device. So first, here's the website. So I go ahead and put in my name. And then I could click on any of these. Schedule an appointment. Calendly comes up. Great. And go to services. Okay. It's all working. So that's how it looks on a mobile device. Let's check out Messenger. Here we are in Messenger. So you'll notice that the conversation that we were having on the website in Messenger also shows up on my mobile device. So it's interesting that it's the same conversation that's taking place. So I'm going to go ahead and just type in, hi there. So we'll see that come up over here, respond back, and it comes up over here. All right. So that wraps up our video on Tidio. We covered a lot, but there's so much more within this program that you could utilize. But that gives you a really good basic look at what Tidio is all about, how to build a chatbot out. Hopefully it gives you good insight into whether it's something that you could do in-house or yourself. Next up, we're going to take a look at BotStar. We're going to build out a very similar chatbot as to the one we did here in Tidio, so you can kind of see the differences between the two softwares. So I hope you'll stick around for video number 3. I look forward to seeing you there.